Got Kenny.
Yeah, she's a great friend of Margot's and mine, and my name's Kenny Schwab, and I was her garbage man for a long, long time. One thing about Joyce that's so remarkable to me, she just knew a lot about everything. And I don't know what I was doing, but I was going to sit home and watch TV, and she rounded up a bunch of gals, and some of them are probably right here in the church, and they went to the Phil O'Donohue show in Chicago. And so that's a huge, big place that they had this show in, and she was way, way back there in the back, and when it came to questions and comments, guess who made the questions or comments? That old Joyce stood right up and talked to him. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Ginger Shelton, and I wasn't going to say anything, but I was sitting back here laughing. Joyce always called me her best black friend, okay? And I'm not aware to this day that she had any other black friends. The distinction of being her best black friend. And about 3 or 4 times a year, we would find, if she knew of a new restaurant open within a 50-mile radius, or I did, we would go and order all kinds of different food and taste each other's, and then we would critique the restaurant, okay? And we go to the theater, and one night, I'll make this short because I got lots of memories, okay? One night we were down at Sangamon State, which is now the University of Illinois in Springfield, at a play, and neither one of us could see very good at night, and so we'd always argue about who was going to have to drive. But it was snowing when we came out of the theater, and I got elected to drive, and we got lost. We took a wrong turn. We went almost to Litchfield before we turned around. I loved her with all my heart.
Years ago, I'm Beth Green, and I went to church with Joyce here for at least 30 years. And 30 years ago, I was a young mother, and she and people at Lincoln College raised money at Global Fest to expose the community to many cultures, many costumes, many musics, and food. She came to me, I was not working full-time, and said, please could you make a program for 4th graders in the county that would expose them with the money raised for Global Fest for a program called Global Neighbors. At that time, we were to expose them to all the things for a short program after school that would make a difference in these children's lives. And I said I would do it. And she said, but be sure and have food.
Thanks. I'm Dean Doolin. I just wanted to share one event with you that I was visiting with Dennis and Roy about the other day that kind of originated the bond between our families when the Kinseys first moved to Lincoln. My parents were still alive and living in the house where I was raised, and some of you that are old enough, like Emery and George, can remember. My mother accepted Joyce as a surrogate daughter because my sister, who was Joyce's exact same age, had moved her life to Seattle, and there were quite a few miles between, and my mother had the same values as Joyce, and so they became quite close. And as a matter of fact, when my father was on his deathbed in the home, I wasn't able to be there on this particular day. I can't even remember what the commitment was that prevented me from being there, but Joyce was there when both my mother and father were saying their goodbyes. My father knew that his time was limited, and that event has remained in my memory for years. I just wanted to share it with you that created the bond between our two families that we'll remember forever. Thank you.
It's being recorded for posterity.
I'm always jumping the gun here, yeah. I, as you know, many of you know, we've made many trips here to Lincoln, and Joyce's friends have become our dear friends. I don't have to tell you what a pleasure it was to be in her company, but you can imagine being her sibling. It was a rare privilege. What I want to tell you is that as she walked that battle with cancer, she never broke form. Every day you saw an act of kindness from her right down to the last moments in the hospital. And the last thing she was thinking about was making a gift to somebody else.
Oh, wait, Leslie wants to.
I'm Leslie Bennett. I wasn't going to say anything, but now I have to because it's just the perfect intro for the story I was thinking of. Joyce and I, I'm privileged to say Joyce and I have been friends since my husband and I came to Lincoln and started our business. She was always very kind to us and gave us encouragement because she's been in business her whole life. So she always had a word of encouragement for us about that. But I recently had just a brief stint of illness and had to go to the Mayo Clinic. And I knew Joyce had gone also. At the Presbyterian Church barbecue this year, I was making my way to her as she was making her way to me. The first thing on my mind was, Joyce, how are you? And the first words out of her mouth were, how are you feeling? So she always did care about everybody else and put everyone's needs above her own. And I thank her for that.
We're going to take just one more, so this will be the last one. Right next to you, Rhoda, to your left.
I'm Dennis Borovsky, Joyce's younger brother, who she raised and ran after most of my life. I just wanted to share a little story on our last visit to Mayo Clinic. And she was in a number of studies, but this particular study, they do a quality of life assessment when you come down there, and they ask you to rate your life from 1 to 10. She had been through all this chemotherapy and radiation, and she just bounced up and she said her life was a 9. And this woman was just stunned because obviously she works every day with people that are treated with cancer, and she said, really? And she said, yes, it's a 9. She said, I've had a good life and I've had good people in my life. And she was referring to all of you. And so from the family, I want to thank you for the life you gave my sister. Thank you.